Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome to Breaking Bets. Technically, our first episode since the first one we recorded didn't end up publishing because we did it on Zoom and our editor unfortunately couldn't figure it out. So here we are. What a week one, boys! Football is so back.
So back. Fantasy this week was a little disappointing. Not too many boomers other than my boy Tyreek and Tua. Best duo in the NFL, better than Burrow and Chase for sure.
We'll get into it. Joe, what do you think of week one?
I think it was a good week one, but way too slow for me.
Way too slow? Not a lot of scoring?
No, not enough for me at least.
A lot of
couldn't watch
defensive
a lot of the
scoring.
games. I mean, yeah, but the defenses were giving up way too many points. It wasn't really entertaining at all.
Yeah, right off rip, there was like 3 sacks, I think maybe a couple fumbles, an interception. I mean, it was crazy.
And to cap it off, Giants getting 40 piece.
Yeah, we'll get into that later. I do feel like the 1 p.m.s definitely were slow. The 4 p.m.s weren't bad, though. There were some interesting games, some upsets. Let's dive into it, boys. We're starting off with the Browns and the Bengals. I'll start off because Bengals are my alternate team. We're all Patriots fans, but Bengals is my alternate team. I'm not worried. I'm not hitting the panic button. Joe Burrow's going to be back. They always struggle against the Browns. You got to look into the context of it. They're 5. I think Joe Burrow's 5-1 against the Browns. They were 0-1 last year. I think they were 0-1 the year before. I'm not worried about it.
And you got to think about it. Burrow's coming off an injury. Can't really rush him into anything. He signed a big contract, so you're probably expecting a big game, but a lot of pressure on it for a young guy.
I know they revamped that O-line this offseason, but like I said, Zadarius Smith made a big impact. He allowed Myles Garrett to kind of run free. Myles Garrett was mossing Burrow all day long, just demolishing him. But, yeah, I kind of thought the Browns were going to win week one. Just not surprised about it.
It's still recording. Just go. We can edit this part out. Green light's on.
All right. Well, one thing I noticed, you said to Zadarius Smith. Did you see that video of Myles Garrett putting it between the legs and just straight bull rushing the defense?
He's playing a different sport at this point. That's how much of an embarrassment that game was for the Bengals. He's out there playing basketball.
No, that video was fucking sick, dude. When he was, like, doing the crossovers, I just thought that was hilarious. The Cincy line had no answer for the guy.
Well, enough about Cincy. How do you feel about the Browns?
I thought, obviously it wasn't fireworks for their offense, but they were stable. I thought they were going to be stable. Nick Chubb, just doing Nick Chubb things, just eating up the yardage. He didn't find the end zone this week. But I was impressed with Watson. Not too many mistakes, but he didn't, blow me out of the water or anything like that.
All right. I think that's cue for the next game. Our next game is big upset. Bucks versus Vikings. All of us had the Vikings.
I had the Bucks spread.
Besides you did have the Bucks spread.
And I said, I know we didn't post this, but we did our little start sits, didn't get that up and running yet, but said Baker Mayfield's my bonus sleeper start quarterback. He didn't go crazy or anything, but Baker looked like an average quarterback. He didn't obviously boom or anything like that, but he didn't completely sell the game. It took him a quarter to get going. Then he started finding Evans, finding Godwin. I thought he had a decent performance, only 173 yards though, but 2 touchdowns, no turnovers. I thought it was a stable performance from that Bucs offense.
I'm just going to say this right now. Give Justin Jefferson the ball in the red zone. Don't give him the Julio Jones treatment. He gets 150 yards a game, but he doesn't get any touchdowns. I don't care if he's double teamed, throw him the ball. That's all I got to say.
I myself got screwed by that. I had a 3 anytime touchdown parlay. I had him, J.K. Dobbins, and Austin Eckler. Unfortunate for J.K. Dobbins, we'll get into it. But Austin Eckler scored. Justin Jefferson didn't. Screwed me out of, I think, $150 maybe. But one takeaway I definitely had from this game was the Vikings need to move from Kirk.
I'd say they need to move on and they need to revamp their defense.
The defense was the big issue that game. They couldn't stop a nosebleed, but I just wanted to also point out
We're going to
edit that part out. No, but yeah, the Justin Jefferson thing, I just was thinking about it, but all right, wait, we're cutting that part out too. Did you see Justin Jefferson?
Give me a second to fucking catch
I
my
felt
breath.
like fucking Mitch McConnell, dude, freezing up on stage.
We're keeping that. We're keeping that clip, but we'll edit it out.
Yeah, but all right, seriously though, anyone see Justin Jefferson's comments after the game? How the team doesn't care about his contract, and now he doesn't either. He's just gonna come out and play football. His comments kind of made me seem that this might be his last season in Minnesota, and I wouldn't blame him. I mean, Kirk's an above-average quarterback. He's not great. He's not the future. And I just don't think they're going to be bad enough to secure one of this year's draft's top quarterbacks. I think they're going to be stuck in that middle QB zone. So if I'm Jefferson, I'd think about walking too, unless they make me the highest paid wide receiver of all time.
Quick question. Where do you think he could end up?
Chiefs.
Yeah, probably the Chiefs.
Well, I'm thinking T. Higgins leaves too.
Bro, that if they could make that LSU offense happen again, Burrow, Chase, and
That's what I'm
fucking
thinking.
Jefferson.
But if they can't pay Higgins, they're not going to pay Jefferson the max contract.
I just don't think they want to pay Higgins the elite wide receiver money. I love
As
Higgins,
a wide receiver,
but-
too.
Yeah, as a wide receiver too. Where him and Jefferson, that offense, you would never be able to stop it. You would never.
That'd be insane. The chemistry they have. They would just have to get
Clyde Edwards back.
and Randy Moss's son.
Yeah, Thaddeus Moss. I loved him at LSU.
I mean, Clyde Edwards was pretty much the star.
Yeah,
like,
we
why
can talk
was
about
he?
that.
Why was he getting touches?
Why
in the
did he
Kansas
start?
City? Yeah.
In the first place, I did not expect that at all.
I mean, I'll take full blame. I did say start Pacheco,
we
but
didn't
why
know.
is Clyde Edwards getting the ball?
No, I have no idea, dude. I said start McKinnon. Both of us are wrong. They both sucked.
Even on the depth chart for the Chiefs practices, he was RB3 behind McKinnon and Pacheco. So
I think every person that played fantasy football that has Isaiah Pacheco was shitting their pants.
And Cam Akers, I don't know what 23
We'll get
rushes for
into it.
20. No.
We'll-
I need to bring this up because he's on my fantasy team. 23 rushes for 29 yards.
Yeah, in the first half, Kieran Williams outsnapped him. I believe it was 23-6 in the first
Sean
half.
McVay has something against Cam Akers.
No, yeah, I think that's got to be Akers last year in LA.
I don't know what's up with that because all year we're hearing how the offense is going to revolve around Stafford, Kupp, and Akers. Didn't see any of that.
Yeah, look at the last 6 weeks of the 2022 NFL season. Akers is going crazy. I don't know. I don't see the problem. I don't know what's going
I don't
on
either,
with
but-
McVay and Akers.
You gotta
Anyways,
get an explanation.
You guys want to get into the next game?
well, I was gonna say a couple nice things about the Bucks. We were
Oh,
shitting
yeah.
all over the Vikings. I think we got to give credit where credit is due. Baker Mayfield did pretty decent. Mike Evans needs to get paid.
Mike Evans does need to get paid. Or if I was
Talk
him-
about a wide receiver that needs to go to the Chiefs, huh? I mean, we got Kadarius Toney dropping balls, Travis Kelce not playing right now.
I feel like every unhappy wide receiver, like everyone just says, go to the Chiefs. That's
I mean,
that's
but
your
who wouldn't
easiest
want to go to
route.
the Chiefs?
No, I know you have arguably one of the most skilled
And
quarterbacks of all time
talk
throwing you the
about
ball.
the Chiefs.
Arguably one of. I'd probably say the most skilled quarterback of all time.
Yeah.
But one thing about the Chiefs is they do need a wide receiver because Kadarius Toney, that was an embarrassment.
Embarrassing.
Butterfingers.
Sky Moore had 3 targets.
Who the leading receiver? Rice? Rasheed Rice?
It honestly might have been.
I liked him in the offseason too in fantasy. I thought he was a deep sleeper, but I didn't get him on it.
We didn't see much of Ross, which I kind of expected. He's kind of deep on the depth chart, but we could see more of him instead of Kadarius Toney in the near future if Kelsey remains out some more games.
But I liked. You were saying we got to compliment the Bucks. I don't think Baker's still the long-term option. I'd like to see a little more from him. He just had a game manager game. That's all it was.
Yep. Well, another thing, too, that was surprising this game, and it kind of showed the Vikings' true colors because, last season they won all those close games, right? And they didn't win this one.
No, and I think that's the defense getting even worse than it was last year.
Yes.
I think Flores did what he could in this first game with that defense because he was getting the pressure onto Baker. He just wasn't creating turnovers or getting the sacks. But they just don't have the talent on that defense.
For sure. All right.
Rashad White didn't really look like an RB1 that game, if I'm being honest. They might have to bring back Fournette.
No, they got to give my boy Sean Tucker more touches. That kid of the beast
Yeah, I could
in
see
college.
that. I could see that. I'm just a Fournette fan, all right.
But congrats to the Bucks. Let's move on. Atlanta Panthers. Were we right about Bryce Young or were we right about Bryce Young?
We were right.
I'm not going to lie to you. I thought he didn't look bad. I thought he showed some promise. He showed some good poise in the pocket, but Still, his height's definitely an issue, but I think the kid's got a bright future. I don't think he'll ever be elite, but
I think
he's
he'll be
an
good,
NFL quarterback.
but early on in his career, he's definitely going to struggle. That pick he had was a pretty bad one. Threw it in a double coverage right into a defender.
And, two, about that. Bryce Young, I said going into the game, I think Ritter's more ready to win week 1. Ritter looked awful. The only reason the Falcons won that game, their defense did what they had to do, and their running game. Bijan, Algier, that was an unreal 1-2
Can we talk about Drake London?
We
Not
can.
getting a single
Go
target.
for it.
Actually, he had one target, and it was nowhere near him. So I had him in fantasy. He dropped a straight donut. Kyle Pitts had like 50 yards, but only had like 2 or 3 catches. But Ritter threw 18 total passes, and half of them went to the running backs.
You know what it is? Arthur Smith doesn't like the passing game.
That
He
is true.
doesn't at all.
He was the offensive coordinator for the Tennessee Titans. I wouldn't say made Derrick Henry what he is, but is a big part of why Derrick Henry got all those touches.
That's why I'm surprised Wyatt Algier got so many, when Bijan's probably the best running back prospect since Saquon, at least.
Oh, and
Probably goes back further.
that receiving touchdown.
Dirty. That was like one of the best debut NFL touchdowns
Split
I've
right
seen
through
in
the
a long
defenders.
time.
That was insane.
But either way, if you have Algier to back up Bijan on your fantasy teams, you could probably slide Algier in the flex until Bijan completely takes it over.
Yeah.
And then they have the Joker, Cordell Patterson, coming in.
Yeah, and then my other note I had for this game is shout out Falcons fans. Hayden Hurst threw Bryce Young's first touchdown pass into the stands.
Did they ever get it back?
They did get it back, so I don't know if it was a Falcons or Panthers fan that threw it back, but shout out them.
Yeah,
Good-
that's respect.
good
I
thing.
would have kept the ball, if I'm being honest.
I would have kept the ball too.
I'm selling that thing.
Any other comments for this game, or should
No.
we move on?
Move on.
All right, next up we have Jags Colts. I think the first subject we should bring up, it was pretty big hit on the TikTok. Michael Pittman, are we apologizing?
No.
I'm not. I that touchdown of the fluke, or the wide receiver screen, I believe, and he took it 40 yards, run after the catch. He's not a speed burner. That was a fluke touchdown. I'm off on Michael Pittman all year long.
Half of his targets came at the end of the game when he needed a touchdown to win the game.
But my point is, take that touchdown out even. He still has 8 catches for 57
But-
yards.
Those were just trying to win the
Well,
game at the end.
I feel like our apology should go to Anthony Richardson. We were saying Pittman won't be effective because Richardson couldn't complete 50% of the ball in college. He started off the game, I think, 6 for 7 passing. Like, he looked really good. He looked sharp. And I thought that was an encouraging start for Richardson in his NFL debut, considering the kid's only 20 years old. Most rookie quarterbacks come in at 22, 23. I thought Richardson looked good for his
He
age.
looked really good in the run game too.
Yeah, he just got to learn to take less hits, and Trevor said that to him
Yeah.
after the game.
He already got that.
He
advice.
makes us look like losers. You said he's 20 years old?
20 years old.
God damn, we're
Look at us.
22 and we're recording podcasts in the basement, boys. What are we doing with our lives?
Yep, I know.
But another thing I had. That fucking bullshit fumble return for a touchdown. Are you shitting me, Tanks Bigsby? This
know.
ain't college, bro.
He fumbled on the goal line in the preseason game, too. It's a fumbling issue with this guy.
Yeah, guy doesn't seem to know NFL rules.
But I would be cautious of him taking some touches out of the RB1.
Yeah, no, I think he could carve him up because ETN kind of scared me last year. I don't know if he could handle a full NFL workload. I think Bigsby's still going to get his. But I want to go right into this because I have him on a lot of my fantasy teams. Calvin Ridley looks unbelievable.
I was just going to
dude.
bring up Calvin Ridley equals back with the
He does.
capital BACK back.
This guy doesn't look like he missed a year of football at all.
No.
He missed 2 years.
Exactly.
I think on the NFL graphic they
injured.
put up on Red Zone, he missed it was either close or a little
I don't
over
know
2
how
years.
other teams were not trying to get him as hard as Jags did because they got him so easily.
Oh, cheap. It was
I
like
don't-
a shocker that the Falcons even traded the kid.
He's looking like a Jamar Chase out there. Like, I'm not even lying.
Yeah.
All right, bold take. I think Calvin Ridley finishes the year the top 5 wide receiver in fantasy.
I don't even think that's a bold take.
Yeah, what was he getting drafted around 18, 20? So he's
I could
he's
see
gonna
that.
outperform the ADP.
The only thing that scares me is that receiving core is deep.
Yeah. Well, I started Christian Kirk in our hometown league with all of us in it. Guy gave me 1 catch for 9 yards.
Zay Jones, on the other hand, though.
Evan Engram looked good too.
That's what I mean. They have a deep receiving core. So
Yeah,
But
so
I think
it could be any of those receivers. I think.
Ridley's the true alpha there, though. Like
No.
he's been showing that. The only guy that I could really picture finishing above Ridley in fantasy, Jefferson and Tyreek are the only guarantees, but Jamar should. But Jamar didn't look great week 1, but that's going to change.
So one thing, I said it last video. I'm going to say it again because we didn't post it on TikTok or anything. The Jags are going to finish first in the AFC.
Yeah, and then AFC East, 100%, but
They're not in the AFC East. The AFC
I mean
South.
AFC South, sorry. Mine's going everywhere. I think Dolphins, that was an encouraging win. We just got to get the run defense
Listen,
going a little better.
I think the Dolphins are going to be crazy good, but the Jaguars' schedule, I mean, you can't beat that.
They do
No.
have the easiest schedule in the league.
I mean, if they can win all their easy games, and then maybe 1 or 2 hard games, like they have the Chiefs at home next week. If they can win that game, I think they have the 49ers late in November at home.
That's going to be tough, though.
That is going to be tough. We'll
That Niners defense.
get to that game. I think it's right after this one. But yeah, that's my take on it. I don't know about you guys.
I think first is still a little bit of a stretch. I think the past few years, like, obviously the Chiefs have been one of the best teams, but I think this is just a slow week 1, no Kelsey. I think the Chiefs are probably still going to finish first, but I wouldn't be surprised if it was the Dolphins either. But don't get me wrong, the Jags definitely could. They're going to be a top 4
I
seed
hate to
in
be
the
that
AFC.
guy, but I still think Bengals got it.
Bengals, yeah. No, they're going to bounce back. Burrow's first week back and all
Well,
of
you
that.
know who's a sleeper to get the first seed in the AFC? The Kansas City Chiefs. Let's be real
huge
here.
sleeper.
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 Honestly, with that wide receiver core, I'd say so.
Just
Oh,
wait-
national anthem for. We're watching the Bills and Jets game right now. Future podcasts, we're going to be recording Sunday nights, hopefully releasing it that next Monday. And then we're going to be recording Thursday nights, hopefully releasing that next Friday. Joseph just came back from vacation, so that's why we're recording tonight. So if we get sidetracked, it's a good thing. We all have Bills -2 tonight, so
yeah.
I also have in a Dalvin Cook rushing touchdown.
bang, bang. We'll see if it happens. All right,
Yeah.
let's move on. 49ers, Steelers. My God, were we fucking wrong.
Not me,
Joseph
though.
and Nick
Not
were
me,
right.
though.
Me and you, we could have been on the wronger side of things. This whole offseason it made it look like Pickett's guaranteed to be a top 15 quarterback this year, maybe top 10. Not for fantasy, but he looked like a great quarterback going into the season. That guy looked like friggin' a high school quarterback, dude. Like, really. Like,
Pickens looked really frustrated on the sideline.
Yep.
Here's my thing. Are the Steelers that bad, or are the 49ers that much better? I think time will tell. It's week 1. We all knew the 49ers were going to be nasty. I just thought the Steelers were at home.
They have a big injury on the D-line.
Who got injured?
Uzma? What's his name?
Uzma.
Wait, cut this out, actually. What's the fucking main Pittsburgh's D-line name?
Hayward?
I always forget his Hayward, yeah. Bro, he's out the whole fucking year.
Shut up.
I swear to God. Or he's out, like...
Just
Yeah, so Cameron Hayward's expected to miss several weeks. I don't
That's
think it's the whole year,
huge.
but that's a massive loss.
That is huge.
that is a
But
massive
as long
loss.
as TJ Watt's there, they're going to get their sacks.
But TJ Watt has a hard time staying healthy.
True. But did you see him yesterday? Come on. Like, he was
yeah.
beating that O-line, and San Fran has one of the best O-lines in football easily. And
But
TJ Watt got,
Deontay
what, 2
Johnson,
sacks?
Deontay Johnson got a hamstring injury. Pat Fairmouth injury.
Yeah, in my notes, I just wrote nothing good for the Steelers.
It's not looking good. That's all
No,
I'm
but
saying.
every team, they're not going to go play to their full potential week 1. What are the Jags? They just lost week 1 last year. They were awful
Also-
the first half of the season and turned it on in the second half. I think Pittsburgh is going to finish.
Yeah,
the year
no
strong.
one's saying Pittsburgh isn't going to be good. I'm just saying nothing good from this week.
Who's the Pittsburgh playing this week? Anyone know off the top of their head?
I do not know off the top
You
of my
guys
head.
see the Brock Purdy clapback at Patrick Peterson?
I did not.
I did.
What happened?
Well, Peterson was saying that he's going to get an interception on Purdy. That second Ayuk touchdown, right on Peterson.
Funny you mentioned Ayuk. Is he the new wide receiver 1 in San Fran?
It's honestly looking like it. I'm not going to lie.
He looked unbelievable, man. He really did.
He did. I love it too because he's on my fantasy team. You absolutely smacked me this week. Part of that was Joe Burrow just laying a goose egg.
We don't know that yet. We still got Josh Allen and Diggs playing.
But I just looked at the Steelers. They get in the Browns this week. That's just going to be a dogfight. But don't be surprised if Pittsburgh bounces back with a win here.
Who's home?
I think the Berg is. Let me double check real quick.
The thing about Ayuk is
Yeah, Steelers are home. I think they take this one versus Cleveland.
Not touching that money line.
He can get open without having the ball in his hand. Debo has to have the ball in his hand to get open.
Yep.
He's a run after the catch guy. Ayuk can do it all. I think Ayuk is going to get that number 1 position soon.
Yeah. And McCaffrey. He looked great this
I
week.
mean, we don't even got to say anything about
McCaffrey's McCaffrey.
But
I
that-
mean,
the
I wrote down
65
his stats: 152
That touchdown-
yards and a touchdown. I mean, did
That's-
he have 1 or 2?
1.
1. Yeah, he had 1.
But that spin move he put on, that was dirty.
Yeah, that was
I mean,
pretty
he's
good.
putting white guys back on the map. That's all I got to say.
All right, let's move on to the next game. I feel like we're not going to have much to say about this game because it was a shit bowl. I mean, the Cardinals and Commanders. I did say the Cardinals were going to cover.
You did,
You did,
and
they
I
covered.
thought you were crazy. I thought you were spitting.
I was wrong on
blasphemy.
James Conner, right about the Cardinals.
Chase Young was out this game. That guy can never seem to get on the field for the life of him. But
I know we were just talking about Pickett's off-season hype. Sam Howell received a lot too, and he did not look good. Howell didn't look great at all. And the thing I don't get, they're versing the Cardinals, and Brian Robinson looked good. They didn't run the ball as much as they should have.
Antonio Gibson looked really bad after that fumble, too.
Yeah. No,
I
but-
thought that was going to be a good 1-2 punch backfield, but Brian Robinson's looking like the lead there. I
mean,
think.
the Commanders' defense looked good, but their offense was a little disappointing for the hype Sam Howell is receiving this offseason.
Well, McLaurin is dealing with the turf toe, but they
What
should
did he
still
only
be
have?
on.
2 catches for
It
30,
wasn't-
40 yards?
Dotson looked better than McLaurin this game.
Yeah.
Yeah, in my notes, I just said say something nice about the Commanders. First win under Josh Harris's ownership. I mean, maybe the guy's turning it around. Who knows?
Yeah.
Honestly, the only highlight from this game for me was the ref doing the Undertaker and throwing the flag.
That was
hilarious.
That might be the best flag throw of all
I
time.
think he got carried out on a cart too after that. So
That's a top 3 NFL ref moment ever, I think.
it's a 1-second video on Twitter, and it was by far it was the funniest clip of the day for me. If I'm missing something, maybe.
No,
but-
that's got to be one.
yeah. So let's move on. Ravens Texans.
That game was a lot closer than it should have been.
I think we should start off with I feel so bad for J.K. Dobbins.
He can't catch a
Yeah.
break.
This guy can't catch a break.
He has so much talent behind him, too. It's just he can't seem to stay healthy. And it's always in the beginning of the season.
Yeah.
He's never a late guy injury.
I unfortunately I hope it's not the end for him, but 3 years in a row with he tore all 3 pieces of his ACL.
And this is his contract year.
And yesterday was the Achilles, right?
Yep.
So a whole different ball game. I think Achilles is harder to come back to for a running back.
Never
Lamar
wanna
didn't
see
look
that.
great either.
I was about to say, that offense, everyone's hyping up Todd Monken as the new OC, but
Hey,
still,
don't disrespect my Todd Monken.
I think the only
Georgia Bulldogs.
thing good to come out of that Ravens game was Zay Flowers looked really good.
yeah.
Zay Flowers did look very good. He was very shifty. Definitely, Jordan Addison had that huge touchdown catch, but out of all the rookie wide receivers, he definitely looked.
Yeah,
by far the
JSN
best.
didn't really do anything.
Well, when
Yeah.
you got Metcalf locking, and that Rams
No, I
defense
agree.
surprised me. Honestly, they played.
Yeah, we'll get into that one, but Zay Flowers could maybe steal away if Bijan don't get the touches. Zay Flowers could steal that offensive rookie of the year.
Or if Gibbs starts getting touches. 'Cause he
Yeah,
looked effective.
We'll be seeing about that. We'll be seeing.
I know Stroud didn't play out of his mind or anything, but 242 yards for his debut was pretty good.
I think
against
he
the
looked-
good Ravens defense.
I think he
too.
looked the best out of the rookie quarterbacks.
Yeah. Yeah. Actually, I don't know. I think Richardson, I got to disagree with you there. Richardson really impressed me. I thought he looked a lot more pro-ready as a passer than I was really expecting.
He gives me Cam Newton flashes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Big time.
But no, C.J. Stroud looked
I think-
he looked pretty good. He didn't have any crazy highlights or anything, but
I just think he
looked
looked good checking the ball downfield.
yeah, he
Yeah.
looked poised, though. He didn't look – it didn't look like the moment was too big for him.
Nico Collins had a low-key day.
How'd he do? Where are his stats?
Give me 1 second.
Yeah, well,
Keep talking about it.
I think he's a clear-cut wide receiver 1.
I don't know. Bobby Trees looked good.
They have a lot of young weird receivers.
But Bobby
that are, like,
Trees
good.
is up there in age. He should be like finding his way out of the NFL. I swear to God, that guy had at least 8 catches.
Nico
Oh.
Collins had 6 catches, 80 yards on 11 targets.
Yeah, Bobby Trees had 6 for 57 too. They did good, both
Yeah.
guys.
I think it. If you hear that,
Our buddies here.
our roommate just came in. We're not in the studio or anything. We're in the basement.
Come say hello, TJ.
Yeah, we're gonna introduce my roommate
This is
TJ.
a
He may
Federal officer.
yeah, salute to service. He's becoming a cop.
And it's 9/11.
We'll cut that out.
Yeah, I shouldn't
Thanks
have
for your
said the
service.
But yeah,
TJ.
I was talking about the 9/11.
Yeah, I shouldn't
part.
have said the 9/11
Yeah, that
joke.
was pretty bad.
Oh wait, yo.
All right, we'll start
James
again.
Cook got stuffed.
That's not the only getting stuff.
But yeah, so Nico Collins, I'd fire him up on fantasy next week. He got 11 targets.
John Mechie did miss this week.
No, but Bobby Trees looked really good again. I just wanted to say I just wasn't
All
expecting
right,
that.
let's move on. Let's move on. Raiders Broncos. I told you guys Jimmy G wins games. You left out that I had Vegas +4
I was
on
driving.
the Instagram graphic.
I was driving. Sorry.
Yeah, slacker. But I said it. I was so happy to see the Raiders win. I did have the Broncos winning, but I had the Raiders covering. But I am so happy to see the Raiders win. Like I don't care if I sound like a dick. I want the Broncos to fail. After all that shit Sean Payton was talking
Yeah.
about.
He's a wise ass.
Yeah.
Another thing is, Jacoby Myers looked really good.
Jacoby Myers did look
He
good.
got a head injury at the end of the game, but he was getting fed in 2 touchdowns. That's not really expected.
My
from
thing
him.
is Jimmy G wins games.
That is
Yeah, he
true.
does.
Like,
Either-
that's just a fact.
He's like the prototypical game manager of the
Death
NFL.
taxes, Jimmy G wins football games.
Even though they won the game, Devontae Adams looked a little frustrated.
I'm not worried about it.
Yeah. What do you think about the Broncos, though? How do you treat them going forward?
Fuck them.
I think once Judy's healthy, they'll be better. And Javante kind of got warmed up, but the Raiders have an awful run defense, and Javante still didn't put on a show or
Devontae's
anything.
heating up, though.
Sean
No.
Payton thought he was cute going for that onside kick right off rip.
He almost
Didn't work
got-
out so well, huh?
Well, Russell Wilson shouldn't be kissing babies. Sean Payton said it. Stop trying to please everyone. I think if them two could get on the same page, the Broncos are going to be really good.
No, they're not. They're not going to be good. Clip it. Clip it.
We'll see in a few weeks.
All right. Shh. Next game, we're going to go Eagles-Pats.
Now, this might surprise some people, but Pats actually almost won that game.
Pats are legit.
I'm not a Pat fan, but I was talking to one of my buddies, Danny Rose, diehard Pat fan. I think that was an encouraging loss. You gotta, after that kind of game, you gotta be like, wow, we can compete with the top dogs.
Well, Mac Jones, QB2 in fantasy.
Christian Gonzalez looked really good. He got away with a little hold on the last play of the game, but
He got a sack too.
yeah, he sacked.
Yeah,
Jalen
if it
Hurts.
wasn't for that
he's
fir-
not a big guy.
Yeah, watching Red Zone yesterday, that first quarter looked like it was going to be a 50-0 blowout. 'Cause
Yeah.
every single... Oh, go, Brees.
No,
But anyways, yeah, I mean, dude, every single was just Mac Jones throwing a pick, Ezekiel Elliott fumbling inside their own 20.
well, that Mac pick wasn't his fault.
But I think Eagles just started playing with their food too much, and the Patriots capitalized on it.
Make Kendrick Bourne the wide receiver 1, please, Patriots.
He looked really good.
I don't know how he's the wide receiver 4 on the depth chart. He's literally our best receiver. It doesn't make any sense. And you can tell he's frustrated with his role because every time he starts, he proves that he's worth to be a receiver.
I can't wait for next week's game between them and the Dolphins. The Pats and the Dolphins.
I think
That's
it's going to be a
good
lot
game.
closer than people think.
I don't
Yeah.
think anyone's expecting a blowout on either side after how well the Pats played. I think it's going to be probably a low-scoring game, even though the Dolphins' offense looks awesome. I mean, but Tua is also undefeated against the Pats.
We'll get there. I know you're excited. We'll get there.
Fins
We'll
up.
get there. But did any part of you guys feel like Tom Brady was going to strap him up after halftime?
Oh my! He looked better than Mac running the ball.
Yeah, it
Let's
was.
go coming out of the tunnel was like
Yeah, it was.
encouraging.
It was pretty encouraging. I definitely think the Pats. There was no way they shouldn't. There was no way they could get blown out with Brady there
Oh, no, definitely not.
on his honoring night.
Hunter Henry and Gesicki looked really good together.
Yeah,
Hunter Henry looked great.
I also... I don't know if I'm a fan of the 2 tight end set offense after Hernandez and Gronk. But we might be able to run it back.
Run it back.
All right,
Jonnu Smith and Hunter Henry did not work out. Jonnu Smith...
who's more likely to commit a murder, Mike Gesicki or Hunter Henry? To fill the Aaron
I
Hernandez
don't know,
role.
that Gritty's murdering a lot of things. That Gritty is horrendous.
Jesus. All right, next game. Packers-Bears. Jordan Love is for real.
Jordan Love is for real. He looked really good.
I wouldn't even say the Packers are back. They're just still here.
Yeah.
They didn't even have their wide receiver 1 either.
No, Watson without.
I just feel bad for the Bears fans. I mean, they deal with Rodgers and Favre for 20-plus years.
They think it's finally their
They
turn.
think it's finally over. Justin Fields is going to have this MVP season just for Jordan Love to stick it in their mouth.
I'm sorry. Aaron Rodgers getting sacked there really distracted me. But
Speaking of Rodgers.
I just want to talk about Justin Fields. I had a parlay 6 legs, $10 to win $330. The last leg, Justin Fields, 59.5 rushing yards, ended at 59. Guy, the friggin' scumbag. He got a 1-yard loss run earlier in the game. That doesn't happen. I hit the bet. That's what pains me the most.
He didn't look like he did in the preseason.
Yeah, so speaking of Fields, I had in my notes, is Fields the guy?
It's still too early to tell. I think like a lot of these teams are now giving up on quarterbacks too early. You got to give them 4 years, I'd say, to really show some promise.
So what's this, year 3?
Yeah, year 3.
Yeah, so if he doesn't get it done, I
don't count his first year.
It's week 1, all right? We can't overreact to everything. We're going to, but we can't.
Yeah, we'll get into the
I think he had-
overreactions in a little
Actually, he only had 2 passes that had more than 10 air yards that game.
Really?
bit. Wow.
2.
Wow.
One of them was a touchdown.
Wow. Is Aaron Rodgers hurt?
Breaking news
Oh, my.
on Breaking Bets. Aaron Rodgers is getting helped off the field. We
This
don't
is-
root for injuries.
My boy Zach Wilson is entering the game.
This
folks.
is his time to shine.
We don't root for injuries, but
Oh,
it's not bad for Bills -2.
Robert Salah looks like he's about to kill himself.
This isn't good for you,
He gets face on the sideline.
All right,
No, this screws Garrett Wilson.
back. Let's get back on track,
Yeah.
boys.
Speaking of Garrett Wilson,
5 yards.
Packers Bears.
Oh, did you guys see Aaron Jones? Guy got like the 35-yard touchdown, starts grabbing the hammy on his way in. It reminded me.
The Madden. Yeah, the
Yeah.
Madden where
And you
Greg
would
Jennings.
think-
Greg Jennings holding the hammy. On
a
the
lot
way
of
to the
people do that
touchdown.
as a celebration nowadays to trick their teammates and fans, but that was not
That was not a trick.
Not cool.
that was not cool for fans.
No, he done like 3 of my fantasy teams, dude. Like he won me my week in a few, but I mean, like I'd rather him play.
I
this
think
next
it's just
week.
like a Tyreek Hill injury type thing where you just running so fast, you pull a hammy and you'll be back next
Who was
week.
the third string running back too? Because they put him in like the final 3 minutes of the game, ended with more rushing yards than Dillon. AJ Dillon looked awful.
I don't know what's up with him. You would think
Quadzilla.
I thought he was going to be the guy last year.
Literally-
taking carries away.
I think he's a fullback, and they're just playing him at running back at this point. Like I don't think he's a good running back. You just put him in when you're on the 1 yard line, and he's getting the touchdown. That's about it.
Yeah, I can see that.
Aaron Jones is such a better running back all around. It's not
and to
even
think of
close.
it, they wanted Jonathan Taylor at the deadline.
That would have been crazy.
But
I just
how
saw-
would that have worked?
I just saw rumors that the trade talks are going to pick up pretty soon. I'm hoping the
yeah,
Dolphins
I think
get
it's
him.
going to go.
Our
I
run
think it's
game
going to be
looked awful.
Miami. I
Yeah.
think it's going to be Miami.
Yeah. So one other note I had about this game was Quay Walker's pick six was pretty sick.
Oh my! That he bounced off the lineman, spin move. That was insane.
Yeah.
Isn't he hurt now?
Not sure. Haven't checked the injury report.
Is it safer to say that Jordan Love's already a better quarterback than Justin Fields?
Yes.
Yeah, I think so too. Justin Fields is just a fantasy guy, honestly.
That was a good question for the TikTok clips.
Thanks.
All right.
I think Jordan Love's like a way better built all
Well,
around
also
quarterback.
too, he just got to sit under Aaron Rodgers for 3 years.
I was about to say the same thing.
Yeah.
I mean, he sat
Who
under.
did Fields have? Trubisky.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm pretty
It's a
sure
big difference.
Rodgers, when they first drafted Love, was a complete douche to him, like how Favre was the douche to Rodgers. But I think he opened up because now Rodgers has taken Zach Wilson under his wing.
Hey, tough
clearly.
love sometimes is good love. You know.
No, yeah, you need the constructive.
Tough
criticism.
love to Jordan Love is good love, right?
Yeah. Right.
All right. Cabral, I saved this one for last just for you.
Fins up.
Take it away. Dolphins, Chargers. Dolphins 36, Chargers 34.
Dude, best duo in the NFL. Tua
Why is it?
and Reek.
Why is it that Tyreek Hill does better with Tua than Pat Mahomes?
Well, Mahomes likes to spread the ball around everyone. Tua, I swear to God, only looks to Tyreek and occasionally Jalen Waddle.
And I love that.
Like, no, too. And I think this is Tua's best game of his career, like, as a pure quarterback game. You see the throw where he ran up and made the throw on the run to Reek up the sideline? That was a dart, a dime.
All I'm
He
going to
looked really
say
good.
is Tyreek Hill. I mentioned it last week, posted it on the TikTok today. Plus 2,000. Absolutely juiced for Offensive Player of the Year. I think it bumped up to plus 1,200 today. So,
Wow.
fans,
Book it.
plus 1,200.
Book it.
Get on it now.
Book it.
Should have listened to him last week.
And also book it for some good value. It might have changed now, but I honestly think Tua could win MVP. I think he could. The only guy that I'm scared of, Trevor Lawrence and Burrow. Maybe Hurts, but
I think
Tua
this
has a
is-
legit shot.
So
I think this
Mahomes,
is the
no
year.
shot for MVP is what. So Patrick Mahomes won't win MVP this year.
No, he won't.
Call me
With
crazy.
those wide receivers, get the hell out of here.
Call me crazy, but I think Tyreek Hill is the first wide receiver to win MVP this year.
I honestly think the more likely
Wonder what the odds
scenario,
are for that.
Probably insane, and I'm going to hammer it right after this episode.
the more likely scenario though is Tua MVP, Reek Offensive Player of the Year. I just don't. If they were gonna give a wide receiver MVP, it would have been Cooper Kupp 2 years ago.
But if Hill keeps up this 150 yards plus a game,
Oh yeah. Well, if Reek gets the 2,000 yards in a single season, like he said he's gonna,
At 30 years old?
he has to get MVP.
can't give it to anyone else at that point.
My only concern with the Dolphins, though, which I think gives the Pats a good way to beat them this week, our run defense was atrocious. Even
Yeah.
Josh Kelly looked like an All-Pro running against us.
Eckler's injured now, but he's dealing with an ankle injury. But he looked like an actual powerhouse running through the line.
Oh yeah.
Usually he's a receiving back, but he was dogging through that line.
Yeah, he was.
So last thing about the Dolphins, my favorite play. I mean, obviously it's Tyreek Hill, but this man is 5'10", running a fade into the end
Bro,
zone.
and he didn't even jump over the corner. He just put his arms around the corner and just caught it.
It's
Like, guys,
insane.
That was an insane throw.
5'10", catching a fade.
That throw by
Who
Tua.
else can do that?
Me.
I could.
Oh, okay.
5'11".
We'll put it to the test.
We will. We'll get a little breaking bets. QB wide receiver.
I don't think Tua gets enough credit for that throw he made.
No, that's what I'm saying. This was Tua's most impressive game for the throws he made. Like, usually it's just the dink and dunks to Reek and Waddle, but he was making some legit throws.
And who's this tight end he's throwing to?
Durham Smythe, my boy.
Because he's looking really good.
Braxton Berrios also had a couple
He
key
did.
catches too.
And don't forget my boy, former Niner, River Craycraft. Caught that tutty.
All right, we've complimented the
Oh, wait,
Dolphins
no, he didn't.
enough, rightfully so. Chargers, I mean, they just got outplayed. They still look good. No panic for them. They just got straight out outplayed.
I think they have a social media quarterback. That's what they have.
Oh God.
No, I do love Herbert, but Tua outdueled him easily this game.
Yeah.
How do you think it would have been if Herbert was on Miami?
We'd already have a Super Bowl.
I agree.
Well, as we're speaking, Rodgers is getting carted off.
Oh wow.
Oh.
That's awful luck, man, for the Jets fans. Wow.
Is this his first real injury if this is serious? In recent years?
Yeah, in recent years for sure.
I mean, I know he had the screwed up hand last year.
Well,
but
yeah, but this is an ankle injury it's looking like.
Yeah, but Bills -2 looks great.
Yeah, we don't root for injuries on this podcast, but Bills -2 definitely does look great.
I'm really not rooting for it because I have Garrett Wilson in our main fantasy league.
And I was looking forward to the competitive AFC East.
Yeah.
I don't know if that's happening.
If Rodgers has a season-long injury, they're last again.
Which sucks for Jets fans because they thought this was the year. Talk about the Jets hype.
Oh, I know. I think.
Listen,
they're
I
the-
bought in on Hard Knocks, dude. Hard Knocks made me actually. I hated Rodgers before it. I actually enjoyed it, and I was like, you know what? I'm kind of an Aaron Rodgers guy now.
Ski.
Ski. But yeah. So to the next game. Sorry, Cabral. thought I saved it for last, but I flipped the page, and Seahawks and Rams are still on there.
What a disappointment from Geno Smith. What a stinker. I honestly thought the Seahawks were going to come out and show why they're one of the top teams in the NFC. Don't get me wrong, it's week 1. But
They look bad. And the Rams looked really good. No Cooper Kupp. Who the hell is Puka Nuka?
And
Puka Nuka.
Tutu Atwell
I was
over 100 yards.
Yeah, this is my first note on the page. Tutu Atwell and Puka Nacua
Nuka.
ripping the Seahawks apart.
Oh,
I mean,
yeah.
what the hell?
Stafford looked good, man.
Yeah,
His
Stafford
arm
didn't look
last
good.
year,
You know who
which
didn't
held
look
him
good?
out.
Cam Akers.
Can't make.
Yeah, Joseph, go on your rant again. It's fine.
This guy stinks.
Let it out.
It's either him or Sean McVay has some weird spell against Cam Akers where he just doesn't want to give him the ball that goes for more than 2 yards. I don't get it. He's in the doghouse for no reason. I don't know what he did.
26 yards on 22 carries.
22 carries, 29 yards, 1 touchdown. And it was a garbage time touchdown.
Wow.
You remember that by heart. That's pretty impressive.
Because I had to look at it on my fantasy for the last, 15 hours.
And honestly, I thought Van Jefferson was the wide receiver to own, but he dropped a deep-ass pass that could have went for a tutty. I think
You would forget he was on this team.
Puka Nuka is
Show some respect to Puka Nacua.
Puka Nuka. He's the must pick up in fantasy. He's the waiver claim
Actually,
guy.
my stepdad had him on his bench.
Really?
Yeah. So he knew something we didn't.
Yeah,
We gotta have
we
him on
gotta
the
get
pod.
Evan on the pod. One other note I had for this game was Geno Smith yelling, "Oh my God!"
That
at
was fun.
Aaron Donald coming at him.
That could compete with the referee video.
Yeah, that's hilarious.
Yeah, okay, yeah. I mean, let's be honest. Anyone would shit their pants if Aaron Donald's just charging at you.
What would you have said if he was charging at you?
I would have just dropped down into the fetal position, to be honest,
I would have
Yeah.
took it like a man
because you like it like
because
that.
I like it like that.
You like that. Do it.
I do like that.
Do it.
Do it.
You like
You like that? Yeah. All right,
Had to
last
get it out,
game.
had to get it
Last
out.
game. Cowboys Giants. My fucking God.
That was awful, man. It really was. And I had a 90% chance to beat Music in our fantasy league this week.
I left Disney World to go watch this game, and boy was I disappointed.
Oh, also, I just want to say from this game, I had the Dolphins Chargers over 50.5 lock.
That was the easiest lock.
I had Cowboys Giants under. Thank you, Giants. Lock. I have the under in this primetime game. Like I said I'm going to keep riding the primetime under wave. Because Kansas City and Lions Thursday night, under, lock.
Got a good point there.
Primetime unders, boys. Prime and girls, if you bet. But, yeah, I mean, did this game prove that the Cowboys are that good or the Giants are that bad?
Giants are that bad. I'm not a Cowboys believer. Those Cowgirls, they're going to find a way to throw this
And it was a
season away.
rain game.
But if I'm not mistaken, and, all out of fun, you guys did have the Giants. What were you thinking?
Did.
I
Well-
wasn't expecting that. That's all I
We
can
seen
say.
Giants made playoffs last year. They almost won that game. I have Saquon on my fantasy. I just had to ride with the G-men.
Yeah.
But
And I don't like Dak.
in fantasy, though,
90% chance to beat one of our buddies. Guy had Pollard and Dallas defense. I lost. And I jinxed it, too. I was talking the shit before the game was over. The Dallas defense comes out and drops a 30-burger on me. And
Yeah,
Pollard,
how do you feel about
25. Suicidal. That's the easiest way to put it.
All 3 inches.
Yeah, so that was a crazy book turn.
You
But-
guys want to get into some overreactions after week one?
Why? I just want to ask the question real quick. What do you guys think your worst take of the week was?
It's down
Worst
to
and best. Worst and best.
down to the Steelers and Giants for me. I really thought the Giants were going to come out and win this game because I thought they'd split the season. It doesn't look like that. And I'm really disappointed with Pittsburgh. But I think the Niners defense just really proved that they're still the best in the NFL, if not one of the best.
Best take of the week?
Best take of the week, I think it was all probably the Dolphins. If there's something, no, actually the Browns. I had the Browns
That was
outright.
a good
Baker.
call on your
You
part.
said Baker would show up.
And I did say
You had a
Baker
few
would show
good
up.
ones.
Yeah, but no, the Browns, I thought, because you guys all took Cincy. Everyone took Cincy, that I know. I just kind of had a feeling they were going to come out and start off slow, and I thought the Browns were going to hit a stable offense, nothing explosive. But, yeah, that's got to be my best take of the week, the Browns.
Joe, best and worst take.
Worst take has to be start Drake London.
Ooh.
That was
We
bad.
didn't post it on the talk, so you didn't have to say
I
that.
posted it on Instagram.
You did?
I said start Drake London, and I said start Cam Akers.
Yikes.
Two horrible takes. So
We're
I don't know
gonna
where to go with
fade
that.
off the start sit. We're gonna just do love hate.
Yeah, we got it at this point. 'cause
Yeah.
Too many people are doing start sits. You
We're
never know
not
what to
fantasy
pick.
experts. We were
Yet.
yet.
We've only
never
been doing
will
this
be.
10 years.
But okay, best take.
It's got to be the Niners lock.
That was a freaking.
So many
lock.
people are going against that.
I just
had
thought
to-
it was like too easy that it had to fail.
And you did say, like, you didn't say they were going to win a close one. You said they were going to blow them out. If
Yeah,
I'm
I was
not
the
wrong.
only one who thought that for some reason.
Yeah,
but
you
like,
said
you got to
it.
remember, McCaffrey changes the game.
Yeah, you said quote unquote McCaffrey's gonna run all over them. Check.
Check that off.
Yep.
I'm pretty sure you hyped up Ayuk a little bit, too.
I hyped up the whole team. Maybe not George Kittle because he was dealing with an injury, but Purdy looked good. That arm injury doesn't even look like he had it.
Yeah, that's one of my worst takes, too. I said Purdy was going to come out and struggle.
I mean, he did in preseason, but that's what preseason's for, as a fly flying around. But his arm looked good, so he
No,
looked mobile
props
in
to
the
you, man,
backfield.
for that. I really thought the Berg was going to come out and upset them. Show them why they're, still one of the best franchises.
Yeah. So I'd say my worst take was probably the Steelers. I had a
You were set on them.
yeah. I had a really good feeling about them, and they disappointed me. My best take. I want to say the Raiders, but I did take the Broncos to win. But I did say, don't be shocked if Jimmy G wins that game. But my best take was probably the over and unders.
Yeah. No, I agree. You had a lot of
Yeah,
good over-under
You
picks.
hit on a lot of those.
And
more
you
than
literally
I
did say, like, the primetime unders. You
Yep.
did say that.
Locks. So, to wrap that up, we're going to put out the standings. Starting with myself, let's start from first to last. In Pick'em, we have Cabral in first place, 11-4.
Fins up.
Joseph in second place at 10-5. Me in third at 9-6. And Nick in last at 8-7.
We're all positive, though.
For the
I'll
spread,
take that.
we have a tie between me and Cabral at 9-6, and a tie for last, Joe and Nick at 7-8. Overall, Cabral in first, 20-10. Me in second, 18-12. Joseph in third, 17-13, and Nick at a 500, 15-15.
Let me just say it again. Fins up, baby. Take
And
them
we
every week.
do have to say, we don't know how much Nick is going to be a part of this show. He is dealing with military service.
Serving our
So,
country.
yeah,
baby.
we salute the troops here, but unfortunately, the schedule just may not work out for him.
And we got a former veteran right here.
Yeah.
AKA.
Anyways, but, yeah, Nick, we don't know how much he's going to be part of the show. He might pop in here and there. He invested in it, so he's welcome anytime. But
You guys will see him, just not as much as you think.
yeah, going on forward, it's going to be a three-man competition for picks, seeing he can't give a consistent, pick. So, yeah, let's get into our overreactions of the week.
I'm going to start us off. I know I said it a little earlier. It's Tua MVP season for sure. I really think he's got it this year. As long as he stays healthy, because, the concussions are a big issue with him. If he stays healthy, he could easily lead the league in passing yards, though, into Tyreek and Waddle. I'm not saying it's going to be like him winning MVP. It's the weapons he has at his disposal that's going to get him to that MVP level.
My next one, probably Zay Flowers, I think could win Offensive Rookie of the Year.
I think it's looking more likely than not. He might tie Waddle for the most receptions by a rookie. It's not like Zay was going crazy yardage-wise. He was just getting every catch. What do you have, 7 for 85 around there?
If Arthur Smith keeps this little committee going, don't be surprised if Zay Flowers wins Offensive Rookie of the Year.
My overreactions, I have two. Like I said earlier, Tyreek Hill's winning Offensive Player of the Year. No doubt about it, Lockington.
I just don't get how that was plus 2,000, being one of the best receivers in football, coming off his best season.
I just had a feeling.
No, I
More than a feeling.
I think a lot of people.
I'm just saying props to you, dude. I didn't, how is he
I
plus
think a lot of
2,000?
people just think that's like a Jefferson and Chase type of thing.
Well, yeah, and the running backs. I'm sure McCaffrey had better juice.
Oh, yeah,
Kelsey
speaking
had
of
better
McCaffrey.
juice, probably.
Oh, and what's up with DeMar Hamlin not even playing as a healthy scratch? A lot of people have him winning comeback player of the year.
So I'm gonna get into that after our overreactions because I actually do have I'd say it's a fair question, but my second overreaction: Vikings are dead.
They are.
I mean, think about it. They lose to the Bucks. You got the hot Lions and the hot Packers. They're just going to be in a dogfight for that division, and I don't think Vikings are going to be there to contend with them.
I just don't think they're going to be as successful as last year. I disagree with you about them being dead. They're going to be better than the Bears. I think that's fair to say. I'm not sold on
I think
Fields.
they'll be
and I'm
right
not
with the
sold.
Bears. Vikings dead.
I see your point, but I don't know. I think having Jefferson is still like Jefferson's the best receiver in football. I think Kirk just had a bad week. Kirk last year was stable. He didn't throw many picks. He had a good amount of touchdowns. Had a good amount
What
of yards.
if this year's reverse and primetime Kirk becomes a thing?
True.
It's the reverse. 1 o'clock Kirk equals shit.
Primetime
Primetime Kirk.
equals hit.
So Vikings plus 7.5 this week? We'll get into it.
Wait,
Well,
who
yeah.
are they versing? Philly? Philly's going to smoke.
But Philly didn't look that. I mean, Pats, fair to say, have a really good defense.
Yeah, Pat's
but,
defense is so much
I might
better
be
than
taking
Minnesota's.
Vikings plus 7.5 just.
But we might see
Just for
Jefferson get on the end zone this week.
I really hope. But last year, I'm pretty sure they versed Philly last year, right? Because I'm pretty sure when they did, Slay locked him up. It was
Yeah.
either one of the past 2 years. Slay
Big
had
play
that
Slay.
guy in clamps.
Joseph, overreactions.
I hate to do it to the Cowboy fans, but I don't think Cowboys make playoffs.
Wow.
I hate to say it.
That's a little crazy. Their defense looked elite
That's an
last night.
overreaction from that game?
Yeah.
I do think they're going to be a little more hype now. People are probably
People
already
are going
saying-
to think they're a dynasty now.
Yeah.
So what I think about it is I think that big of a win is bad for Cowboys fans. All time bad.
That's what I mean.
I mean, you see,
It's gonna come around and bite
You
them.
see Stephen A. the past 3 seasons, the Cowboys are getting milked up, Super Bowl champions, and then Stephen A. as he always says, just be patient. So shout out Stephen A. But anyways, yeah. So yeah, I think it's a bad spot. I think the Cowboys are just gonna get like their hopes so high just to get let down.
Something always happens to the Cowboys.
No, but I think the Cowboys still make the playoffs. I think it's a little crazy.
I don't
that
have
they
a I don't have a take on them yet. That game looked so good for them where I can't say that they're gonna be ass.
Let's just picture the playoff picture right now. So the Niners are definitely in the playoffs. Philly will probably win the East. So if Dallas does it, they're at the wild card. Who comes after? NFC North.
Lions or Packers?
Packers.
Both. I think
I'm,
both.
I'm feeling the Packers.
Well, who's gonna win the division is what we're
I think
asking.
Packers will win the division. But I
Both are
think
gonna make
make
playoffs, in my opinion. You think Packers are gonna win the division?
Yeah, I think so.
and then NFC South.
I'll take the Lions.
Fair.
I like the Packers. Packers got a better defense.
NFC South, I'm giving it to the Falcons.
Falcons, really. I'm going Saints.
They didn't even look that good
They
against the
didn't
Titans.
look
I
that
think we
good.
forgot to
But
recap.
you know who did
them.
look
We
good?
did forget to recap them.
All right, recap of the Titans Saints
but
game.
you know who did look good?
6 field goals. Who cares?
Yeah, that game was. That's a forgettable game.
Michael Thomas looked actually good.
He did look good.
Good thing you brought that up.
Yeah, I know. Right?
A lot,
But-
maybe
It's
some
all right.
Saints
It's all
fans
right.
are
First
disappointed.
podcast, we'll get it.
No, but I think that was just everyone knew that was going to be kind of a dogfight game. No one expected fireworks or anything. Like,
I'm not high on the Saints this year. I don't think I think that team could be so much better with a better head coach than Dennis Allen.
yeah, no, it is their head coach, but either way, I still think that division's so bad that
I think Falcons win it. It's going to be dog shit, but the Falcons win it.
you can't have an awful quarterback though and sneak in. I guess the Commanders did it a few years ago with Heineke, but
I think Heineke should still be their quarterback.
nah, I think you got to give Howell some time.
But then you could say that about Ritter.
You kind of got me stumped here.
All
No,
right.
I know, but I don't think Ritter's going to figure it out this year.
So back to the
Well, he has a young group around him. If they figure out, they're going to do it together.
All right, back to the playoff picture. So we got Lions, Packers,
Niners,
Eagles, Cowboys.
No.
Cowboys,
against-
yeah.
I'm against it.
Who are you going to put in above them? Let's just see. No, you say your playoff picture. And
Well,
I'm going to point out where
I was gonna-
Wording is in the recording.
I was going to say,
What?
You get the squirting
Nah.
in the background.
nah, she's not scoring too much. I think the G-men make playoffs. That's a bold take by me, but I'll stick by it.
I don't think their season's over, but I don't find a way you could be encouraged after last night.
Because
at
maybe
all.
I had to look into a magic ball and seen something.
Like, their O-line's been getting better. Andrew Thomas was one of the best tackles
But
in
actually-
football last year.
They had their 4th string left tackle in.
Yeah.
They had like 3 injuries in a row.
And everyone knew Dallas' defense was legit. Everyone knew Micah Parsons was going to do a thing. That whole defensive line's really good. But
I'm
no,
not
I think the
I'm not a
Giants
big-
It's a little overreaction.
I'm not a big Trayvon Diggs fan, if I'm going to be completely honest. I think he's a hawk.
I'm not sold on Diggs. I don't love him. I think, yeah, he'll just get you an interception, but he'll still let up over 100 yards.
So back to that DeMar Hamlin thing. So he is the favorite, heavy favorite to win Comeback Player of the Year. And I get it, coming back from that it was cardiac arrest, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was a heart
I mean,
issue. That's
yeah,
all.
I mean, coming back from that, I mean, that's huge. Playing football again, that's absolutely huge. It's encouraging. It's overall great. It's a hard question to ask, but I don't think it's going to happen. But say Russell Wilson has a good year, leads the Broncos to the playoffs. Do you still give Comeback Player of the Year to DeMar Hamlin?
Well, I don't think so because I don't think Russell Wilson should get it if he plays great. I think it does go to someone who was out last year with injury. Russell Wilson just played like crap. Like, I don't think Geno should have even been in contention last year. Like, the guy was a scrub his whole career. It's not like
Don't tell me you're thinking about Tua Comeback Player of the Year and MVP.
No, Tua played too many games to do it. It has to be someone who misses
3/4 of the season to their at least over half. You know,
So who are you thinking?
I'd have to really sit there and look at all the injuries that happened last year. Anyone got anyone off the top of their head who was out for most of the
This
year?
guy hasn't really been given a big chance, but if Chase Young has a good year, it's possible.
And Brees Hall. We're watching the game right
Brees
now.
Hall.
Brees
Definitely.
Hall. Yeah, that's just one of the names that come off the top of my head. I just think all DeMar Hamlin does have to do, though, play a snap. Play a snap. If you get a tackle, even better.
I think they're just going to do it for him just to do it.
No, yeah, they got to please the public, which I don't disagree with.
Oh, no.
I wouldn't wish that upon
happy
anyone,
for him.
dude.
Yeah, it's crazy he's even back on a team, back with the Bills playing.
Yeah, so that about wraps up NFL talk. NFL Week 1 in the books, heading to Week 2. Let's get into college football just a little bit, and then we'll wrap up the show. A couple notes I had. Colorado's going to be 3-0 next week, and Shadur Sanders looks like an NFL quarterback.
Shadur looks
Awesome, dude. I'm so hyped up.
I kind of want to go to one of their games.
Yeah, dude.
That would be
awesome.
Breaking Bets Roadie?
experiment.
I'm down. We should do it.
That would be an experiment and a half.
Yeah.
That crowd looks like they're into it, too.
They play Colorado State this week. They should win that one.
Yeah.
And then I believe they have Oregon on the road. If they can win that, they go back home to USC. Caleb Williams
The dog.
versus Shadur Sanders.
That could be the legitimate. Whoever wins that game could be. That could be the
Heisman.
deciding factor of the Heisman,
That could.
easily. But I just wanted to say, what does it take for Colorado to make the college football playoffs? Like, what do they have to do?
They
They have
need-
to beat USC for sure.
I don't know about USC. I think they have to. You got to start with Oregon. They got to beat Oregon.
Yeah,
Oregon's
you
a
do.
good team offensive-wise, too.
Speaking of Oregon, shout out Oregon for covering the spread with that last second
Yep.
pick. That was crazy.
That was
But
a big backdoor cover now.
I feel like it's a little too early to tell. You got to look more into the schedule. They also have Utah, Oregon State. I mean, dude, the Pac-12 looks insane, and they're blowing it up.
Yeah,
They have a bunch of ranked teams.
I'm sold on Colorado though. I think they look great.
I am sold on Colorado too.
Josh Allen threw a pick, guys. I'm
He
sad.
did say he throws 7 picks. But other notes I had, we're not going to get too much into college football.
Or
But
before we keep going, I think Colorado has a legit shot to beat USC because I think USC's defense looks really bad. I think Shadur can
Colorado's
pick them
defense
apart.
ain't too good either.
No,
though.
they both suck. I think that's an easy over game.
Yeah.
But a guy who plays on both ends.
Travis Hunter.
He could be the Heisman.
He could
too.
be the Heisman winner. When he goes to the NFL, what position are you thinking?
Corner.
Yeah,
I think his
corner.
primary is corner.
His route running is really good, though.
Yeah.
Oh, he's a
I don't think
patriot
you
in
could.
a
I don't
nutshell,
think you
dude.
could play both sides in
Jabril
the
Peppers.
NFL.
He
though.
reminds me of Jabril Peppers.
Yeah, exactly. Because Jabril got all that hype, but if the Pats could find a way to get Travis Hunter, Bill could do some weird friggin' things with that.
Oh
guy.
my gosh, I could see it right now.
Yeah, so I have 3 more notes. 2 regarding the Alabama game. This one I'm going to get out of the way. Drake May doesn't really look that great.
No, I think if Shedeur keeps up this pace that he's on, Shedeur could take over May as this year's
I
QB2 in the class.
I think Ewers, J.J. McCarthy.
Not McCarthy. I'd
Penix.
rather May.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know.
And
He's
I
just
think it's too early to tell.
477 yards, 2 touchdowns, 2 interceptions, and they versed App State and NC State. I mean, sorry, not NC State, South Carolina. It's not an impressive stat line. I mean, it's week 2 in college football, so we'll keep tabs. But let's get to that Alabama-Texas game. Is Texas back?
I don't know about that, but this might be the worst Alabama team I've seen in a long time. And their quarterback is awful. I
Yeah,
don't
Milroe is not the answer.
care. No, he's not. The guy stinks.
I think the worst part about it is I had Texas in my slip. I
I
had
did too.
Oregon spread, and I had what other spread was it? I don't know. I had Oregon another spread, and then I had Alabama -7. I just thought it's too good to be true. Texas always flops in these situations, but
Matthew
God.
McConaughey.
Matthew McConaughey got to be the happiest guy in the world right now.
yeah.
He's such a good-looking dude.
Yeah.
All right,
No, but either way, every year, like for the past few years, you'd go into the next season knowing, okay, this Bama quarterback's going to be good. Like Hurts, Tua, Mac. I didn't even know anything about Milroe
Bryce
before
Young.
the season, and the guy stinks. Yeah, Bryce Young. This just feels like the worst Bama
I kind of
team
feel
in a long
like
time.
he might be in a panic mode, trying to find the right quarterback.
Who, Saban?
They moved down to 10 in the AP poll.
That's
Texas
bad.
moved to 4. We got
Is this
so
the
for
lowest Bama's been in like
It honestly might be
forever?
because they had a blowout week 1, but they did not look good.
No, I think
Brees Hall. Holy shit.
Brees Hall, oh my God.
I'm gonna lose this week.
Was that 80 yards?
His ACL just gave out.
Brees Hall nearly just had a 70,
I
80
need to
yard
check
touchdown.
Yeah, check our fantasy game. Wow.
Hey, we got any update on Aaron Rodgers?
No, he just says he got carted off. You're up by 8.
Nice. But, anyways,
He has
So
109 rushing yards off 2.
Bama moved it down to 10. Texas moved to 4. So our college football playoff, if it started today, would be Georgia versus Texas, Michigan versus FSU. Alabama's not making the college football playoff. It's not happening this year. There's too many teams better than them.
I think Georgia steamrolled everyone this year. They're winning.
Me too.
The national
Me too.
championship.
I like where your
This
head's
feels
at.
like the least competitive college football.
But the games are
area
still
in the world.
electric, so
No,
I'm
they are.
going to ride the wave until they're not.
And Brock Bowers is the greatest tight end prospect ever. That
If-
kid is unreal,
If
dude.
Brock Bowers fails in the NFL, when Travis Kelce retires, the tight end position is dead.
Do you think
yeah.
Seeing
he'll
how
be more
Kyle
of a
Pitts worked out.
Gronkowski dominant or a Kelsey receiving?
Kelce.
For-
I've watched Brock Bowers for a few years now. He's a receiving guy.
But he's still an elite blocking tight end, too.
That's the thing is,
I'm saying he's Kelsey's receiving with Gronk's blocking, dude.
But
Seriously.
Gronk, I think, even had better receiving than Kelsey. Kelsey is literally a wide receiver.
yeah.
and he has Pat Mahomes throwing the ball.
No.
Rob had Brady.
I think Kelsey the better receiving tight end all around, but Gronk is more of a red zone threat.
Gronk can catch anything you throw at him, even
Yeah.
his balls.
But Kelsey's route running, everything like that, so much smoother than Gronk.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, that's because he's a skinny guy. He's like literally a wide receiver,
When you throw it to Gronk, he could be covered by 2 people. Just throw a hand up and he could come down
and
with
he's
it.
catching it, and he's probably scoring.
Yeah, because he's going to run over everybody, where Kelsey's going to try to evade and all that. He's not going to try to run you over.
Yeah.
No,
So he's like a
Brock
hybrid.
Bowers, dude.
He's like a hybrid of both of them.
Yeah.
So honestly, like a George Kittle type.
Yeah,
Fair
probably
enough.
a better version, though.
Well, everyone, I think that about wraps it up. I think
Yeah.
we're all footballed out. We got all of our takes out.
Wait, it's not even recording. No, I'm kidding.
So,
I'm just joking.
We'll be back. Well, hopefully we can get this up on the YouTube, maybe even the audio podcasts. I know a lot of people are asking for it. Before we go, I just wanted to say thanks to friends, family who supported us so far on Instagram, TikTok,
When we make it.
Facebook, all the social media platforms. Shout out to them. We wouldn't be doing this
Shout out-
without y'all support.
Shout out Nick Rue for editing this after we send him it.
And when we make it big and make money, you'll never hear from us again. And
Yeah,
It's
and,
valid.
It's not about the money, but
Yes, it is.
Someone please sponsor us. Someone please sponsor us.
yeah. So someone please sponsor us. Thank you to everyone.
I really want to have a drink right now, but I can't because we're not sponsored by anything.
And I wanted to give one more shout out, Mike, the store manager from Guitar Center.
Oh, my God.
Absolute goat.
Yeah, he saved
We
us.
can get into that story another time. But
I think we just do it now. Screw it. That guy with a G.
all right. So before we go, we're gonna explain how we had no clue how to set any of this up.
No.
I mean, it is rocket science. I mean, we could not figure it out. So we went to Best Buy. They didn't have anything we wanted. We went to Guitar Center. I don't know what the guy's name was from Guitar Center, but fire his ass immediately.
Yeah, young kid. Like
Guy
with a
comes
bowl
in
cut.
smoking weed, and then we're like, "Hey, we're starting a podcast. We need equipment, blah blah blah." And then he just pulls out every single piece of expensive equipment.
And he lost us as soon as he said, "Yeah, I get commission on this stuff." So it's like,
Yeah,
dude,
he said that's why Best Buy is over there, and we're here, and we make 20% off of our sales. Ha, la, 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 la.
yeah. And then it was like, dude, so that's why you're picking the best equipment.
Yeah,
Like,
so then he picks up all the most expensive equipment, starts scanning it. We're not even buying it yet.
yeah,
So then we leave. We're like, hey, man, I don't like. Yeah, and then he's like, yeah, this is the microphones that Joe Rogan and Logan Paul use. I'm like, listen, guy,
Yeah,
we're nowhere close to that. Nowhere.
I don't want to be Logan Paul either, so.
and then he was like, "All right, if you guys don't want the best equipment, have fun failing your podcast."
Yeah, and then I'm like, yeah, man, we didn't know how much goes into this. We're gonna have to reconvene, come back, and he's like, well, that's what Google's for. But we went back today. Mike, the store manager from Guitar Center
In Braintree.
in
Massachusetts.
Braintree, shout out them. I mean, this guy just laid out every single piece of information we needed. I told him, I'm like, hey, we're starting a podcast. We have this equipment so far. Like, can you help us out? We don't really know. He just gave us all the information we needed, and then gave us like 3 different options. And I think we went with like the middle option.
Well, yeah, we went with the. He was recommending a type of mixer and the audio interface. We went with the all-in-one interface.
Yeah,
Which it's honestly, it wasn't that hard to set up.
yeah.
We had a couple difficulties because we're not tech guys.
I'll
at
tell you
all.
what was harder: sticking up these posters right
Yeah,
here.
I
I
know.
mean, God.
I think
wish I had a
Rogers
video
tore
of
his
that.
Achilles. Just watch that replay.
That's not good.
Yeah, but
Anyways, we
Anyways.
gave that kid from Guitar Center like really bad review. We gave Mike.
yeah.
And
So I
10 out of
had
10?
to I had to change the review because it said I already made one, so I had to change it. So it was a 1-star. It said all that shit, and then I wrote the one about Mike with the 5-star. So it was like, you already made a review. I'm like, I can't do another one. So I had to change it. So unfortunately, they won't see the bad review of Stoner Boy. But Mike, shout out you from Guitar Center. You're making this all happen.
Yeah, and if you see this ever, make sure you fire that kid. Kid with a douche.
Yeah, shout out Guitar Center. Shout out Mike, the store manager. Thank you, everyone, for tuning in. We'll see you guys on Friday.
Deuces. Dude, if that was
Fins up.
That was recorded the whole time.
no way.
I'm gonna kill myself. I'm not doing it again tonight.
No, I
Yeah, it was.
Oh, thank